being here, Jean.
Thanks for having me. It's awesome to be here.
Do you know anyone on Twitter that could... Never mind.
I don't. I can't get G. Macdonald on Twitter either, so.
You can't?
I screwed up with Twitter, you know. I took a name because I thought, well, I don't know if I want my real name out there. And then, obviously, everybody knows who you are on Twitter. But we didn't know back then. We thought it might be like a secret society, right?
So you were too early.
Yeah. And so now there's like all these women in Scotland who have G. Macdonald and G. Macd and whatever.
And you're like at Dragon Rainbow 29. What is your Twitter handle?
It's MacGenie. So
Mac
it's a cool, you know, twist.
Yeah, it fits you. It feels like a rapper. And you said you're a musician, so I'm just assuming.
But now there's this food cart in Indianapolis, I swear, called MacGenie, because they make mac and cheese like in all these like varieties and stuff.
Magical ways.
And their Twitter handle is MacGenie Truck, but nobody gets that right, so I get their tweets.
You should send them on a quest. Like, if you can get the Twitter handle I want, you can have this one.
Oh.
And then you have to get, you know, a flower on this mountaintop.
Let's talk about your product. This is fun. This is also like every comedian I talk to has the same problem because everybody's like, we got to it too late. You have the interesting problem, you're too early. But let's talk about your project. So you are the founder of App Camp for Girls.
Yes.
The New Yorker implied that you started this because you were at an Apple conference and you were like, too many dudes on the dance floor. And
as if.
And so you decided to try to do something about it. Tell us, is that about how it started? What was the idea?
Yeah, so I've worked for a while in the Mac and iPhone, iPad software business, and Apple throws this big developer conference every year in San Francisco. It's about 5,000 people come, and I literally one time was thinking, you know, it's a room like 4 times the size of this at least, like a huge room, big session, probably 1,000 people, and I thought, it's kind of weird that I can only see one other woman in this room, you know.
Yeah.
This is not like, I don't know, it's not a locker room, right? It's software.
Right.
And I don't care what people think about, like, why maybe girls aren't that good at math or whatever. I think there should be more. There should be more than 5%.
Unless there was like a conference, like another conference where they were talking about like the girl parts, and you should have been in that one.
Nope.
They weren't breaking you apart. This wasn't the big day of Apple Developer Conference.
No, it's not. But yeah.
So a lot of people would see that sort of a problem and be like, maybe I don't want to hang out in this club. You decided to get more women into the club, which I think is really cool. So you started you started young. You went for...
Yes. Well, I mean, there are things going on now, like trying to help women, you know, become programmers, and but I know that, you know, one thing I like to do is work with kids, and I had, for years I've been involved with the rock and roll camp for girls here in Portland, the most awesome camp ever.
Yeah.
And I say that including App Camp. I saw like what they do with the girls in 1 week, going from like 0 to rock star.
Yeah.
And it seemed like, you know, couldn't we do something like that for software?
At the end of your session, do the girls get to present their apps with the Portland Cello Project at the Aladdin Theater? Because that would be pretty rad.
Okay. No, we do on the last day. Yeah, I thought about that because I was like, there's no equivalent of playing at the Baghdad for software. Well, it's, you know, software programmers, but. I thought, what could we do that would let the girls show off what they're doing and sort of fit in? And I came up with this idea of, let's have a pitch session. Mm-hmm. Let's invite women investors. There's a ton of women angel investors and, you know, entrepreneurs here in Portland, and ask a few of them to come and listen to the girls' apps ideas that they created during App Camp. And so it's.
And what kind of ideas? What have they been building?
Well. They have a ton of ideas. It's really like, it's pretty overwhelming. But we do have only 1 week, and unlike rock and roll,
there's only 3 chords in programming, right? It's the same.
Software actually does require precision.
Yeah, it seems like a lot.
So we spend some time in the beginning of the week where we teach them our tricks for coming up with app ideas and how you would narrow those ideas down into something you could do. And then we say, okay, now we're going to work on a project that we've put together for you so that you can complete it in 1 week. And so last summer we had what a template for a quiz app. So basically, they all wrote personality quizzes. They were hysterical.
Finally, some personality quizzes.
But you know, when these personality quizzes started hitting Facebook this year, and just like you can't really go in your timeline anymore without finding out, what kind of whatever your friends are.
Yeah.
I was like, we already did this last summer, So anyway, yes, personality quizzes. I mean, they could have written any kind of quiz they wanted to, but basically we created a structure with 5 questions and 4 answers, and 4 results, and so we built up what they needed to have in Xcode, which is Apple's tool for writing iOS apps, and then they could put their artwork in and write their answers and figure out how they were going to grade the quiz and stuff like that.
And how did these are the 12-year-old-ish?
13, 14.
13, 14. And you brought them in and you were like, here is Xcode.
Yes,
your friends are at rock and roll camp. And how have they taken to it?
Okay, so we did surveys at the end of the week, and in both sessions that we had, they were like, we want to do more Xcode. I swear.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I was like trying to make it so they had to do, they had all these other things to do, art and design, and we do, some non-computer activities as well, but these girls really wanted to geek out in the worst way possible, and so we were not able to keep up with the demand for how much. We had to make up an app on the spot for them to do because they finished the quizzes so fast.
So you're in your second summer of camps. Are you going to be? Is it getting geekier? Have you taken that feedback? Are you making it harder?
Yeah, we're gonna. We are. In fact, I was working with some of the programmers today on what we're going to do this summer, but we're not afraid of throwing a lot of Xcode project at them because we know that they like it.
So you crowdfunded this. We'll say since Andy's here, we'll say you used one of the top 5 crowdsourcing websites.
Well, we couldn't do Kickstarter. That we didn't fall under the rules of Kickstarter. So otherwise we would have.
You went to one of those rebel fundraisings.
No.
What was the response like?
It was incredible, actually. We said, well, let's raise $50,000, and that will take us through the summer, plus to the beginning of next summer, and that was our goal, and we raised the $50,000 in 3 days, and I didn't even know what to do. I was like, I would have liked to actually turn the thing off at that point and say, okay, we got our 50, and
right.
But of course that's not what you do in crowdfunding.
No,
so we had 36 more days of fun.
So you make up the long goals.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we'll also go into making jeans, and then we're also gonna.
Yeah. So we said, okay, well, let's double down and go for 100,000, and the more money we raise, the sooner we can bring App Camp to other locations.
So you spread it. Yeah. So where is it now?
Well, this summer we'll be in Portland again, and in Seattle. So.
Great. And if somebody had 13 to 14-year-old girls, where would they what's the process? Are we still taking signups, or are you already full?
Well, we booked Portland instantly about a month ago.
Really?
Yeah, it's incredible. The demand is. We get way more applications than we have spots for because we're small. We really just started. We don't really know what we're doing.
So we're running out of time, but I'm really curious. So when you see that, are you heartened? You know that there's all these girls that want to go into it, and what happens between when you would have gotten them there and when you get to actual Apple level programming? It seems like the excitement's there, and then they're just not getting it. So are you you take them to camps and then? Well,
they learn how important it is to learn how to code.
Mm-hmm.
We give them a reason to want to learn how to code. They get excited about Objective-C, which I challenge you.
It's way better than Subjective-C, which is really hard. It's this may have worked. It depends on how you look at it.
That's for rock and roll.
I'm sure someone else has done that joke before.
No, actually,
no? Okay, good.
I've never heard that.
I'll take that. I'm sure if I went to at Subjective-C, someone already has that. Actually, that sounds like something way worse. Anyway, I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, it's a good joke, and I'm stealing it.
It's not.
so they finish the camp, and then we'd like to do a lot more programming for them. I mean, in terms of things that they could do during the school year, things we could do at schools. I mean, there's all kinds of great things that are possibilities, but we are this tiny team, that just said like, hey, let's just do this thing. So we're going as fast as we can, and we're excited about this summer.
App Camp for Girls sold out here in Portland, but thank you so much.